bring this community together. It's such an awesome thing to welcome us all into this new space. So please use the furniture for the first one. We'll have to share a little. I think we'll probably be invited back. And maybe before we get started, knowing that a bunch of us came to meet some new folks, you can literally swivel in your chair, do a little turn around, someone on your left or right. You can introduce yourself. You can ask what they do.
What do you know? I'm seriously, we just met. I saw you on the way in, but you were kind of talking, but luckily, hopefully we kind of look like our profile pictures.
Yeah.
Okay,
hopefully,
good.
that's from like 2 years ago, so hopefully it's still good.
I got more right here.
We'll just pass them around, yeah. Check.
How are you?
We'll have one night for like one date night to share this one.
Yeah.
That sounds good. If you're meeting.
You and I are going to share this one.
Okay, great. I don't.
That's great.
ENG, is this working? Hey, ENG, is this working?
There you go.
Test. It's working. All right.
And that's specifically for live streaming.
Okay, it turns out we don't need a panel. We should just have done this.
Okay, this is very cute. This is everybody's so chatty.
Folks, there are some other amazing people I'd love to introduce you to, but I see contacts being exchanged, which is my favorite. Yeah, 2 minutes, take your time. This is the important part of the day. We wanted to make sure we get that. It's important to swap. That's why we come together. Andrew and I had an awesome conversation about what it means to like share space and in the context of work, but also in the context of an event like this. The goal is that you leave having met someone that you're going to talk to outside of today. So I love just what we saw. But I also love the folks up here and want to make sure you have a chance to meet them, hear a little bit about the amazing work they're doing. We'll dive into this conversation. We've got a few questions that are planned out. We'll ask a few questions, so keep those in mind. And we'll try and be wrapped up about 9:30 so folks can continue to linger or head off to your 10 a.m.s or whatever is next for you. And you know, currently we're in a well air-conditioned building, so some folks might not want to leave at all today. So maybe to get started, I'll just share a little bit about Upside Foundation and how we're kind of connected to the folks here. Upside exists to, I think I have to hold this here. These are our little mics so that people not in the room can hear us. Exists to enable founders and startups to give generously to the causes they care about. And we enable that through the pledge of equity or options. But for folks who have worked with us before, we also support founders in just thinking about generosity and their impact in the myriad of ways that they might want to do that. And the conversation we're going to have today really illuminates some amazing ways that organizations are really thinking about impact and embedding that into the work that they do. So maybe without further ado, I'll ask each of you to introduce yourselves, maybe share a little bit about the organizations that you work for, given that we've got a diverse sectors, and then maybe a little bit about how you all work together or partner, and what kind of puts us in the room together today. So maybe Peter, I'll start with you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. This is a great event. One of Unwrapit's first in a long time. So thank you, Lindsay, my co-founder, for helping to organize this. Unwrapit is a corporate gifting platform. We help companies strengthen relationships through a hassle-free platform. And in most cases, our customers produce negative emissions through their gifting when they use Unwrapit. And we know that because the Carbonhound data we have has shown us that that's the case. And so we're really proud of that. It helps us sell the product when we're able to say, regardless of what your recipients choose, when you send them a gift through Unwrapit, you're probably going to produce negative emissions because some of those recipients are going to plant trees. So we're here to sort of thank Carbonhound in part for helping us get to that level of detail and data. We're able to track the ins and outs of cash and liabilities, accounts payable, accounts receivable in Unwrapit, thanks to AMLB. which is our virtual accounting firm at the moment and into the future. In both the case of Carbonhound and AMLB, they are also our customers. And that's the case for at least 4 other companies that we work with. And so I guess I'm here fundamentally to share that and spread the word that your customers can be your suppliers and your suppliers can be your customers. And it helps everyone involved grow.
Great to be here. Thanks everyone for the invite. The sound is okay. All right. So Moez Bawania with AMLB, and we get all kinds of what that acronym means, but it's like very boring. We're an accounting firm, so it's par for the course. We are a virtual accounting firm that services nonprofits and entrepreneurs all across Canada, including Unwrapit, and we are pledgers to the Upside Foundation. So I have a business partner, Ali, and so together we took on this venture about 5 years ago using cloud technology and AI to deliver services virtually. I remember, it was late 2019 and we were trying to take on a few clients and everybody would ask us, where's your physical office? And we said, we don't have a physical office. This is the way of the future. They're like, no, need a physical office. I need to come meet you somewhere. March 2020 hits. It's been 5 years. No one's asked us where our physical office is. So woohoo. So yeah, I'm truly passionate about this space of aligning your customers with sort of what your intentions are for the world. And it's something that I grew up with as a kid, being dragged around by my parents to all these volunteering events and community things. So it was more of seeing that the way you build trust with partners who have shared values with you just goes much further, and it just reduces friction in the way you do business because you just know that you are focused on the same things together in terms of what you want for the world. And so it's been very exciting having partners like Unwrapit. I'm going to dig more into Carbonhound too, but somehow we're all connected through Unwrapit as well. So thank you for having me. I don't know. Oh.
I got one. Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren. I work at Carbonhound. Welcome to our office. We've only been here for a couple of months, and this is our first event here. So we're testing the capacity. So far, so good. Yeah, I think we could double it, maybe. Anyways. Yeah, at Carbonhound, we're a software company, but also we're a people company. And we help businesses of all sizes measure their carbon footprint. So how do we take all of the data from your business, your ins, your outs, your utilities, all of that, and then turn it into greenhouse gas emissions so that they can tell their carbon story or their climate story and also reduce their emissions, which is the end goal. Yeah, we love our customers so much, and it's really fun to just talk about how that relationship has really helped our company grow, but also just build such a really nice, a culture about it. Sanders, our CEO, has this dream of having all of the office and all of our personal affairs, but because of our customers. So our loose leaf tea is from one of our tea customers, just using our customers' products in everything that we do is so fun. And it also helps build a culture within the company that feels really exciting and just cohesive. So yeah, if anyone knows any, travel companies there, let me know. Yeah, so that's us at Carbonhound.
Oh, well, thank you all for sharing a little bit. And as you can all hear, these relationships came about both naturally and really inspired by creating companies that are doing great and positive work and really standing behind your values. So the question I really have for everybody to follow up is, as entrepreneurs, we've got a long list of priorities, a long list of needs. How is it that in your companies you've been able to prioritize impact? And why is it that you really kind of have that impact at the top of the list? Peter, do you want to start? Lauren, you've got your little.
Oh gosh, I thought I had a bit of time. How do we prioritize impact? Well, I guess the biggest thing is just trying to understand each customer as an individual. And once you've quantified the impact that you have as a company, how do you help that inform the decisions that you make when it comes to what you buy or what you like, which direction you go? And I know working with Unwrapit has been a really cool example of this because we help them measure their emissions. And we were kind of looking at all the different kind of gifting options that they had and what the emissions were associated with each type of gift. And really understanding that some of those gifts had way more emissions or way less emissions, help them decide what products they offer to their recipients. And so it was a really cool way of really understanding, okay, using data, how do we make better decisions so that we can reduce our impact on a climate perspective and really improve our impact from kind of the rest of it. So, yeah.
Sure. So I think when we started the business 5 years ago, like any business that starts, you need to find a way to sustain and have cash flow so you can survive. Like that's your first goal. You want to acquire customers and you want to, provide great service, and then you want to grow according to that. So that was definitely, like, I'm going to be transparent, like that was our number one goal. But my business partner and I had a very transparent conversation about how do we want community to be part of everything that we do? And it was something that was super important to us to look at our customers, our vendors, and everything that we do and make sure that we're building sustainability into it, because we felt both personally, first of all, we're both immigrants to Canada, and we felt that we have a responsibility to this country for everything that it's given to our families to give back. So that's just something that we both agreed on. And so then we try to find partners that think accordingly. And so Unwrapit is a great example for us. We were actually, our first year, we sent out client gifts. There were like these huge gift baskets, a lot of plastic and wrapping. And then Peter and I connected through Upside Foundation initially, actually. And then we kept in touch because I loved everything that Peter was doing through, Grant Book initially and the B Corp. And we said, well, why wouldn't we use Unwrapit? Because it's a digital gifting platform. It's customized. You can use video and all kinds of things to connect to your customers. The feedback we got from our customers was fantastic. So going back to the question of prioritizing this, to say it is something driven personally from us as founders as to giving back, but also we saw there's a benefit both for us as a business, but also for our team. Our team sees this and says, we're here, of course, for each of us to make money and for our families to, provide to them, but also something beyond that for the global community. So actually it helps us attract employees. We won awards now for sustainability. So we're recognized as a Canadian accounting firm on the global stage, which helps us, us attract people, but also from a client perspective, we attract employees locally, but also clients locally that are interested in those causes. So yeah, it's been a fantastic opportunity for us.
I'll also say that in the AMLB's case, they have nonprofit clients who are provisioning accounting services from AMLB. So in their gift campaigns, they also feature their nonprofit customers as gift options for all of their customers to support and clients when choosing their gift. And then because I have the view of all campaigns running through Unwrapit, I've also seen other Unwrapit customers choose to feature AMLB clients as gift options in their own campaign. So this sort of like virtuous cycle of impact kind of happens in ways that are pretty cool. In terms of why prioritize impact, it's just sort of like, for me, the inverse. I spent a whole year thinking about what could be a purpose-driven company that I could found. So impact is sort of the first reason for creating a business. It takes so much work to create a business, so many years, so many gray hairs in my case. And like, why devote precious time on earth to something that's not going to leave the world better in some way, while of course providing for family and making a living from it. So impact is like deeply rooted in everything Unwrapit is sort of pursuing, and it's why we exist. We couldn't exist without our impact mandate and goals. What I'll add to that is we really like the idea of stacked impact or multiple impact. So it's not just reducing the waste associated with corporate gifting. It's not just helping corporate gifting, derive charitable donations, donations to charitable organizations. It's It's also about strengthening relationships. It's about centering on gratitude and community, and some of the things Lauren talked about, connections. So when I think of it, it's really about multiple impacts. It's why we do what we do. And I just wish more companies sort of put that first, right? What world would we be in if impact and purpose was sort of the reason companies existed?
I love that. And I'm not sure for everyone else in the room, but you all have done such a beautiful job articulating what it means to work with people who share your values. And just hearing the ways that this is unlocked opportunity, both for your own businesses and for your customers, is super cool, given that it's an alignment at that kind of high values level that is what brought you together. Curious if anyone out there has a burning question. Karsten, not to put you on the spot, but always asks great questions to ask these folks. Otherwise, I will keep going. Any questions? Okay. Yeah, go for it.
How did you guys meet? That's kind of how do you find other people within the purpose-driven space that share the same values?
That's a great question. So the question was, how did we all meet? How does a mission-driven or purpose-driven entrepreneur employee find other like-minded companies and professionals? In the case of Moez and I, we met through Upside Foundation, and we've met many people through Upside Foundation. JC, Butterfly Ethical Gifting, and Unwrapit really work closely together. We met through Upside Foundation. We're also a B Corporation, which is like a way of credentializing your commitment to impact and the purpose of your business. And so we've met many B Corps, and through the B Corp community in Ontario and globally, we're members of 1% for the Planet, through which we've met other companies. And the Circular Economy Leadership Canada group we've met. So it's a lot of these networks and affiliate groups through which we meet others. We met Carbonhound through a previous employee who I knew through, I think, her podcast, the Net Zero Impact podcast. And I think she was connected to CSI. I'm blanking on her name. Erin.
Impact Zero and the Center for Social Innovation.
Yes. So there was a prior existing professional relationship between Erin, myself. She said, "Hey, I'm at Carbonhound." I immediately cued in, because if Erin's at Carbonhound, that means Carbonhound is serious about what they're doing. So those personal relationships play a huge role.
I'll just quickly add to that. Another way that I've met folks with those shared values is through board work. So doing volunteer board roles. And I kind of reflect on like the last 15 years of my life. And I was thinking about this actually, like, who are my closest friends and people in my network? And interestingly, like out of like the 10 people, half of them are actually through the board work, because you form these bonds, and it's kind of, focused on, like you said, impact for that specific cause. Like I was on the board of a youth shelter in my late 20s. I joined it, which for now I'm going to age myself. And I was there for like, about 15 years. I became the chair of the board, the treasurer, did all kinds of roles. And you don't get those opportunities, I don't think, in corporate at that kind of young age that you get in volunteer work. And so you get to go through a lot of trials and tribulations with a bunch of people, most of them who are smarter than you, in my case. So yeah, build some incredible relationships through that, and then a broader network through that community.
Sure. Yeah. Two things come to mind. The first one is Toronto is a very cool city, and there's so many neighborhood like mutual aid networks and events and really, really hyper localized things that make you feel like you're doing something, because you are. But it just feels really good to bring it home. And so I've tried a lot harder to get involved with my immediate like 4-block neighborhood to meet cool people. And then I ask pretty much every customer, potential customer that I talk to, where they're going and what they do to find community and sustainability, because we're often talking to the sustainability lead, or actually it's just like some random person's side of desk passion project to be working on emissions. But if they care enough to be working on this outside of their actual role, then they probably know some pretty cool people and some pretty nice communities to connect with. So I just ask all of my customers, prospects, where should I go? So
Those are all awesome suggestions, and invitation to reach out to Upside Foundation directly, and we're happy to be a part of kind of discovering those communities that you are interested in or connecting more deeply through our network of hundreds of founders who care about all kinds of amazing things across Canada. We've had the opportunity to connect with all kinds of organizations and would be happy to be a part of just facilitating that connection. So an invitation to everyone to reach out if needed, and some amazing support. Another question there, Kristen.
You spoke about the trial and tribulations, and if I'm thinking about, are there any moments that you guys share where it was very difficult to adhere to the values that you hold? Like any moments where I feel like when we talk about values and being mission oriented, we don't talk about the hard moments of like, oh, I had to sacrifice this to adhere to something that I care for, and how you move through it.
What a great question. I feel like Peter has been so dedicated to the space. I want to give you a chance first to, if you want to, you'll go after. Okay. Thanks. I was trying to ask. Yeah, let me think about that. That's MD. Okay, go ahead.
So sometimes your values or your mission can actually get in the way of just like running a profitable business. And I that should be clear. Lindsay knows this as my co-founder. And so I think when you start with mission or purpose or your values, it might actually come with blinders you didn't initially realize were on. And in Unwrapit's case, we want to produce a corporate gifting transformation. And we thought somewhat naively that just meant erasing physical gifts from what recipients can get when they get a gift from a company. That's like a very almost naive perspective now looking back, because once we had data, because we lost a lot of customers that way. We lost a lot of potential customers because we're like, oh, physical gifts? No, you're talking to the wrong people. But with the data from Carbonhound, we were able to see that even with some physical gifts in the mix, or lots of physical gifts in the mix, the small number of people choosing to plant trees as their gift was offsetting all of the emissions from all the other people, regardless of what gifts they claimed, including like Air Canada vouchers, which, surprise, surprise, are high emissions. And we didn't have that. It was like, Air Canada is not physical, so we should offer it. So the trials and tribulations of building a profitable business that's growing sometimes come directly from the fact that I am so mission driven, purpose focused, that I'm not observing like basic fundamentals of markets. So in my case, that's what I've learned.
Over it.
So just reflecting on that, I think the one would be aligning, like for me, in my case, it's my partner and I and our team on what you have as your own personal passion or values or impact you want to make in the world. So I think that was, a challenge in a way, and it's probably just my own doing, because I was trying to, have the company center impact in a very clear and intentional way, and likely lost sight of what you described as about what does it take to build a sustainable company in terms of cash flow, even though I'm an accountant. So that should be what I think about all the time. But what I loved about it was, I think, his openness to it, and then us discovering what is he passionate about. I've got 2 young kids, he's got 3, and I'm like, well, what kind of world do we want to leave these kids? And we explored these questions together, and then he talked about climate action, actually, which is interesting. And so we chose the cause that we're going to focus on, one of 3, based on one of the things that he's passionate about, and that allowed us to bring impact more centered into the company. So that's one I can think of.
I'll use an example from a previous life, but before this, I ran an educational travel company. And so we took students and kind of taught them about different places and different topics through this lens of social environmental justice. And we promised as part of their fees that we would offset the carbon footprint related to their travel. And then COVID happened, and it was really challenging to continue as a business. And if many of you are founders, you end up taking a lot out of your own pocket to fund a lot of things that feel really important in the moment, or really just to keep the lights on. And then at the end of the year, the bill came around for our carbon offsetting for all of these students who had traveled, and had the option to choose like the gold standard, you know, the best offsets that were aligned with our organization, and then the kind of suspect, you know, maybe you can use this if you want to, kind of, just lower quality. And it was this decision where I'm already spending my own money to like keep the lights on in this business, and I can spend $5,000 or I can spend $1,000 on like offsets, which, you know, it's a whole gray zone anyways. Anyways, the decision that we made was to buy the higher quality offsets. And the following year, when we went to work with one of the universities in Ontario, the person that was leading that program, the professor, was really personally interested in the offsetting piece and actually asked for proof that we had done that, asked for which ones we had chosen. And we ended up doing a really cool program with them. But it was kind of one of those things where not making that impact decision would have potentially bit us in the butt, but also making that impact decision really hindered us financially in the moment. So I don't even know if it was the right decision necessarily. Just an acknowledgement that the decisions suck, especially when money is like not existent or very, very negative. So yeah.
That's a great answer.
It's not really an answer. It's just, I don't know. I remember that. So.
Well, a very like grounded example of kind of the trade-offs that are inherent in any decision. But when you center impact, and impact often is good for others, good for our planet, good for the future. That's heavy when it comes into the framework of a decision. Short term, less pinch on the pocket today, but that means a pinch on Mother Earth and our ozone layer in a different way. And how do you kind of trade those things off? I think all three of you have provided such an awesome framework, even just for others to be thinking about the concept of impact. I think you've also articulated ways that aren't, you know, it doesn't need to be in the kind of breast cancer sticker on the product way. There are so many nuanced relationships, partnerships, how you engage your customers, to build community around the things that you care about and the causes that you can care about. I think the example of Unwrapit and your clients being featured and just seeing that, you know, I really believe that we all have a desire to be generous, and it feels good to do good. And we need to create the choices for people to have the opportunity to follow that thing that feels really great. And I think you've just done a great example of that. And maybe with that, unless there's a burning question, which you're also all welcome to come find any of us for a few moments and ask. We'll wrap up this formal kind of panel portion with we got one more. We want it. Yeah. You can have two.
I'm curious because we were talking amongst the rest today about impact-driven accelerators. And CSI is obviously one example, but is there other examples that you guys have had experience with out there that maybe help others find out about?
Great.
The question about impact-focused accelerators. So if you're trying to start a business and you want to do that with like-minded peers that start a business that centers on impact or purpose, are there accelerators specific for that? There sometimes are, and sometimes it has to do with your profile as a founder, woman or minority or new Canadian or something like this. And that can be very beneficial. Sometimes there are cause-related accelerators. I know like Spring Impact Investors does accelerator for health and climate startups. So, and then there's obviously a lot of clean tech, which is maybe where Carbonhound would have more advice. But I'd also say regular accelerators are also fine for a purpose-driven entrepreneur. And so I did Founder Institute at the very beginning of Unwrapit. It was very helpful. We were going to name it something totally different. That was really bad. So Founder Institute, the fundamentals of an accelerator probably apply if you're starting a for purpose, for profit.
I think the only one I would add there is one of our clients is Propel Impact. and they place analysts in companies to do due diligence around their impact profile and ways that can be improved. So that's not an accelerator per se, but it's a resource if you already have a company and you need support with it. But yeah, I think that's the only one I can think of other than what you already said.
Yeah, Aaron, who used to work here, also runs an accelerator for circular businesses, and it's called Impact Zero, and it's specifically around circularity and climate specific work. So it's a good one.
Yeah.
I will make sure to include some of those in the thanks for coming emails. Don't be worried about writing it down.
You have one more?
No, I think that's.
That was it?
There's
Okay, that's
other, accelerators and incubators across Canada.
Yeah.
There's not. No. Well, and yeah, kind of to your point there, if that is oriented maybe more to the founder profile than the company solution. Yeah, we'll make sure to highlight and any relationship between that. We'll enjoy this hot, beautiful day. Thank you to the three of you for an insightful conversation. Has my brain thinking about the ways in which I can deepen relationships I have by centering it on something I already care about. And you've done such an awesome job challenging us all to think about that. And so thank you. And we'll give all a big round of applause. And for everybody, Carbonhound, thank you for having us. Lindsay, thank you for your support and pulling everything together this morning. Upside, we'd love to bring folks together. This won't be the last time to see it mid-fall, elevate, probably sounds like a good time. We will look forward to seeing you all then. I will send a note after this, but also encourage you to take the time today to find one another. I hope the next time we see each other, you can share about, Naomi and I met at a coffee in December and went for our own coffee not too long ago, and I hope that those relationships develop from today. So enjoy, stay cool, or freezy, or popsicle, or ice coffee, whatever you need. Or if we just need to huddle up in the VHC, so I'll give you your stuff and have a wonderful rest of your days. Oh yeah, please eat, take coffee, take snacks.
I just have one shout out. This pottery studio downstairs is really cool and really nice, and I know we sent a bunch of people there by accident. So check them out. We put their cards here. So if you're looking for a hobby,
Oh, nice.
check it out.